Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting video. My name is Jaspeer. I help you heal, rise, and live more soul aligned. Today we're doing another video and the final one on the Dusthana houses, the 6th, 8th, and the 12th. And I'm really excited for this video. I believe 12th house is one of the most feared houses in astrology along with the 8th. And I want to bring a very positive light into this house. The video is quite unscripted and it's all from intuition, all from the heart. So you guys can get a very positive and a motivational look for the 12th house. So you guys can be motivated about the upcoming dasha you might have, because 12th house is very sacred. Tell me something. There is these houses, the trine, the earth, kama, moksha, and dusthana in astrology, the triangles, right? So what's the one for moksha, the spiritual trine? It's the 4th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house, right? 4, 8, 12. If we talk about the dusthana, the feared houses in astrology, what are they? 6th, 8th, and the 12th, right? 6, 8, 12. Wait, did I hear 8th and 12th house on this side? 4, 8, 12, 8 and 12 again on the spiritual side. So you're telling me the houses that give you spiritual liberation, that if you want to walk the path of spirituality and surrender, they're labeled as evil houses or the feared houses? How can that be? How can that overlap happen? So 6th house, in my opinion, my eyes, is your physical body illness, something that appears on your physical body. 8th house is a change on the ego. What you used to be, how you're going to identify yourself now, what event has changed you in life, that big traumatic event. It's not something small. In order for something big, it's a big event that completely reshapes you. That's on the ego level, what you used to be and what you are now. 12th house, 12th house is many things. 12th house is purification of your soul. We're talking at soul level now. This video is going to be divided into astrology lessons, and at the back, at the very end of the video, I'm very excited to talk about metaphysics and link it to the quantum physics, and I'm going to link it to the Vedic metaphysics, like how astrology and the quantum physics kind of overlap in this, how everything merges together. And it's going to be very exciting. We're going to look at the it's called a double slit experiment. So it's exciting stuff. So before going too much into physics, let's get back into astrology here. We're scared of 12th house because it has been labeled across as the house of loss. Okay, it's the house of jail, imprisonment. It's the house of hospitalization. You see if you're gonna go to hospital or not from the 12th house, right? Is that why you're scared? There's a lot more beautiful things hidden in this. It's not only loss and surrender, it's change. You're merging into what? The consciousness, the oneness, the divine light. This is the house of mental asylum. Why? Because when the 12th house is activated, the people are connected to the crown chakra and they think you're gone psycho. You should be sent off to the mental ward, because the average public does not understand the visions, the voices that you hear in your head. That's the power of the 12th house. There's more beyond than that. What is the 12th house labeled as? Let's talk about the most basic things that everybody knows. It's the house of jail. It's the house of mental wards. It's the house of hospitals. It's the house of isolation. It's the house of loss and surrender, expenditure. It's the house of, most beautiful one, spirituality. It's the house of bed pleasure, aka sexuality. And for me, put all that behind. I'm excited because this is where the mystics are born. This is where the divine saints are born. This is where you find the divine light. This is where akashic records are born. This is where you just are. You're complete. This is that ocean of endless love. one tip about the 12th house I want to say to you guys. There's spirituality and sexuality. Okay? So this, as a tip, never ever share your 12th house experiences out in the public. If we talk about sexuality, you behind the camera, I never post this video for under 18, so I know it's an adult watching. So you behind the camera, if I talk to you openly, how comfortable are you telling me, if we talk about the sexuality component, how open do you talk about to public, friends, or even me, to say, hey, I had intimate experience with my partner yesterday and we did this and this and this in this way for this long? Do you ever discuss that information out in public? It's the only time intimacy, I believe, is discussed if you have some kind of problem and you go to the doctor and it's one-on-one meeting. Hey doctor, we're having this kind of issue. Now let's talk about spirituality. Why is this house labeled as spiritual? I'm going to tell you that. But any spiritual experience out of the 12th house, do not just have it with average human. You will not be understood. Do not say you have visions. You're able to see energies, voices, ghosts. You're able to see the divine light. You're able to talk to trees. You're able to merge into the infinite. Like, these are all type of experiences that awakened souls have. And how much are you living on that depends on how high you are in your spiritual journey. But do not share your spiritual experiences outside your meditation zone. Keep it private. Open up with someone who's on the same wavelength or someone who's higher, like a guru or a teacher to you. And who is a guru in the 12th house, or who is a guru in life overall? One of the most common questions I get asked. A guru is someone who's more knowledgeable, someone who's more advanced than you, someone who's a teacher. And they show you the path of spirituality, of anything that they have walked before. The masters before you. In school, our math teacher used to be a guru because they have done their studies, they have graduated, they have got the degree, now they come back to teach. That's a guru. In the modern day, that's a guru in the modern day school environment. They come back to school to teach. Now, a spiritual guru, one of the most sad things about life in the 12th house is spirituality is forgotten now. This is the hidden knowledge that nobody knows how to access. One thing I want to make it clear, and I'm saying this from the heart. Right now, there's a big trend on social media about akashic records. And I'll say it very bluntly, don't waste your money on it. People that are selling this thing online about akashic records, that, oh, it's a divine staircase, there is a whole library of a book with your past, future lives written in it, and they can access it to get to it. That's not how vibrations work. You're nothing but just a vibrational footprint in this universe behind the camera. Now, let me take you on what the real journey of akashic records really is, just for a moment, to give you a glimpse of how deep the 12th house is and how beautiful it is and what information is hidden there that nobody talks about it in the public, and it's just been simply labeled as Dusthana or the bad house. What's hidden? Just to give you 1% example, your akashic records, okay? Everything in this universe works on an energetic vibrational footprint. Everything is vibration. The highest form of vibration that is written in the Vedas, it's the sound of Om. When we're meditating on Om, that vibration, that hum that penetrates through our body, every cell, is the sound of the universe. Now, your footprint, your memories, everything gets put out a certain vibration. That vibration is not written in books for you to pay someone for them to read a storybook to you. It is to be understood, to felt, and someone can decode it for you if they have the capacity to go into that depth. Now, what is this energetic footprint? Let me take you into physics for a second. When scientists are doing research on photons, electrons, protons, and all these things under a microscope, they're not the little cute little circles we saw in high school with a positive and a negative image. They are traced as energetic graphs. It's energy. And It's coded into little graphs. And forgive me, I did not do masters in physics in any way. If I'm wrong somewhere, please correct me in the comments. But as to the best of my knowledge, what I know is that's how they're studied. And people that are researching, they know how to decode that energetic graph. We are humans of the cosmic energy. Our history and our future gets molded in a similar form. Our records, our akashic records, are actually little energetic graphs. What's going to happen? How is it going to happen? Which planet is going to have an impact on the next second? What it's going to manifest as? So it's not a book, a storybook of your life. It's a vibrational energy footprint, akashic records. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go more in deep into it, how you read it and how you access it. It's a different world. Let's come back into this. Let's come back into the 12th house. Let's merge into it a little bit more. So 12th house is the house of mystics. It's the house of seers, the house of sages. It's the house of saints. You know those people that give it all up? Even their desire to have any clothing on their body. And we think they're psychos. They're the ones that fully understand the power of the 12th house. I'm not saying you have to be shirtless in order to merge into the 12th house, no. But they see matter and energy beyond this physical form. And to truly get to that state, that enlightened state, you have to clean up your 11th house completely. 11th house is a house of desires. 11th house is where the ego gets left behind. Anything that you want. I wish I had this. I wish I was more smarter, more handsome. I wish I had more money. I wish I had a better job. I wish this. I wish that. Leave it all behind. These are all ego attachments. You dissolve. It's a very lonely path to be sitting in the 12th house, and hence it's isolation. You'll notice a lot of the time when your 12th house dasha is activated or going on, you're usually put in a apartment by yourself. You're living in a condo, apartment, house all by yourself, all right? Sometimes in your soul contract, in your life journey, you get enlightened sitting in a prison. A lot of people have attained enlightenment in prison. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but just recently, last week, I was reading an article where a gang member, a gang leader, was in prison, but then he came out enlightened and he went to get baptized in a church because they found the holy light. And it happens because depending on what kind of soul journey you have signed up for, if your 12th house dasha is coming up, get ready for isolation. I'm not saying you're going to hospital or jail. You could be, let's say, for example, after a bad breakup, you would want to move into a single bedroom apartment away from the world. You don't want to talk to your family because you just lost a 10-year relationship. You think this is depression, but this is isolation so you can wake up to a higher self of you. In today's world, we don't know how to go through the time period and come out as enlightened souls. We don't have any educational books on how to walk the path of spirituality. There's no school that you can go to. And it breaks my heart to see how misunderstood this 12th house really is. For me, it's the house of mystics. This is where Rumi is born. In the Indian culture, this is where Bullhe Shah is born. This is where a lot of the, pretty much every saint is born. This is where they're sitting, guys. This is the 12th house. And why do these mystics have powers? They have realized that you have the ability to mold matter into reality. The formless gets a form here. You're able to change reality. Today, I might sound crazy away from Jupiter, Mars, this and those kind of planets because I am talking about the deeper layer behind the 12th house here. What does it mean when you bring your form, which is your problems, into formless, and then they convert it back into solutions for you? This is the power of the divine workers, the light workers, the sages, the saints, the awakened souls. They can alter your reality. And this is where I'll link real life physics into spirituality and tell you how matter gets molded. So it's not common for average person to understand this. There's a big trend going on right now online on social media where reality is manifested. Oh, you do this and this and this, take these courses for manifestation and stuff like this. Can manifestation be learned through books? No. But can manifestation happen? Yes. And who's responsible behind for it? The planet Mercury. And how so? Let me take you on a journey behind manifestation. Manifestation is when you visualize what is it that you're trying to achieve. You're closing eyes and trying to visualize so how your reality should look like. You're trying to bring that energy to the front, right? First of all, you need a strong 12th house for that. In the 12th house, or the dasha, or the time period of 12th house going on, needs to be linked constantly with the planet Mercury. Now, there's a few rules for this. You're gonna have Mercury in the 12th house, or you're gonna have Mercury in the 6th looking at the 12th. The 12th house has to be ruled by Mercury, or the planet that's sitting in the 12th house must be in Mercury's nakshatra. There's 3 nakshatras. So if any of those rules apply to you, when the time period of such planet or such house comes, you're able to manifest a reality. Now, if you have Mercury in Pisces or the 12th house, you know your Mercury is depleted, and you're constantly in a thoughtless state, your thoughts are different than everybody else. You guys are one of the luckiest people if you have Mercury in Pisces or you have Mercury in the 12th house. This is where you guys are naturally walking the path of manifestation every single day. You're able to create your own reality, what you want in 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year from now. But be careful with that. With this beautiful gift comes a curse. Why the curse? You must be healed to fully use this power. What is that power? The power of creating reality, but you gotta be careful what you're creating. If you have not healed inside your heart, inside your mind, you have a lot of fears, okay? That, for example, you're afraid of breaking your leg one day or something. You have a fear of injury. You're constantly walking around every single day with this fear before taking an action. That fear is gonna manifest before any positive outcome. If you have fear of being broke, your family came from a very odd lineage through poverty or misuse of finances or bankruptcy or some kind of fear you have faced and you have not healed from it. You're never gonna grow financially until you deal with that fear. Before you are able to manifest any big businesses, manifest any big reality, that fear is gonna overcome your manifestation. Your new workplace, business, anything that you tried to create for financial gain is gonna shut down. You're manifesting fear before wealth. So you have to be healed in order to fully use your manifestation power of the Mercury in the 12th. Now, there's 2 planets that do amazing in the 12th house. Along with all the others, I'll go through them maybe in a different video, but the 2 magical planets here, what are they? One is Mercury, because it gets depleted, it loses its power. But in that loss is the merging. And what's the other planet? Venus gets exalted in the 12th house, aka Pisces. So one loses power to become powerful, the other one gains extra power. Why is Venus so special in the 12th house? Why is it exalted? Oh, somebody with Venus in Pisces, oh, they're super wealthy, they can attract a lot of beautiful women or something, wealth or something. That's not what Venus is all about. Venus is that divine unconditional love. Venus gets more powerful in the 12th house. Venus gains strength in the 12th because it's the ocean of love, the infinite light, the divine love. You want to feel, whenever you do something unconditionally, something that makes somebody smile, you smile back. You went out and bought a sandwich for a person who's hungry, even if you fed a stray dog, it makes you smile. Because you're in that moment, you're merging with the divine. That's God. That smile that transfers from a hungry person into your heart, that's the energy of God. That's the magic of 12, just to give an example. Rumi wrote all its poetry from the 12th house. Words carry vibration of love. Yes, materialistic love. With Venus, somebody in the 12th house, they like extra pleasure, etc. Fine. But that's very materialistic, minimalistic, guys. Let's get over it. 12th house, it's very deep. It's soul level. It's the merging of the soul with infinite divine love. It could be any way. It could be through painting, through words, through speaking. And when we're talking about the 12th house, it's not a journey from physical form up there. No. A lot of the information comes from above and it gets translated out into the world. A lot of the downloads happen in the 12th house when it's activated. Why does Mercury lose its power in the 12th house? When Mercury walks into this ocean of infinite consciousness, right? Mercury is intellect. Like Mercury thinks 1 + 1 = 2. But when you walk into the infinite ocean, there's no 1, there's no plus, there's no 2, there's nothing. It's only matter. Mercury tries to measure the ocean with a ruler, for example. How wide? It's infinite. There's no logic. Logic doesn't work in the 12th house. And hence why Mercury loses its power there. But yet it's the same if you know how to use that for your strength. And you can be the architect of your own reality and bring it into form in the physical world. Now, what is this ocean of infinite consciousness? This is the divine light. When you start talking about the above and the beyond, a lot of the people out here call you mental. They want to put you in a psychic ward. You hear sounds, you see beyond what you've been seeing your whole life, beyond this table, the lights, the walls, everything. Sometimes you feel the energy behind this light. What hertz, what frequencies is it vibrating at? So it's very different kind of world up there. And this is where, once you leave the desires, you merge in with that highest consciousness, and then you realize what God really is, okay? Now, when you attain a certain type of degree, for example, undergrad, then you do your master's, then you do your PhD and stuff. Like a lot of people who have gone and they come back, they become teachers themselves. Like somebody, or they continue their research. They continue to come back to teach as university professors, teachers, so they can give back what they have gained, right? So this is the same process for enlightened souls that truly get enlightened and they come back. Now what happens is, these enlightened souls, let's call them the sages, anybody, mystics, they walk up to the 12th house, leave all the desires, they go into meditation, they realize what the divine light is and how it's working through them. They know how to merge into the divine light and be one with the light. Then they come back into this world. So they don't come back as a math teacher, they don't come back as a science teacher, they come back as mystics, as spiritual workers, as saints, sadhus, sant, fakir, anything you want to say. It's all one light, it's all one vibration, but in different forms. Somebody in Jamaica could be a different mystic, somebody in India, somebody in Zimbabwe, in New Zealand, in Australia. These awakened souls are all part of the same light. A math teacher is a math teacher in Spain, in China, in England, in Brazil, anywhere. It's still a math teacher. The quadratic formula is still the quadratic formula all around the world. Light workers, the pure ones, are light workers. 8th house gives birth to occult, astrology, tarot and all this, that. But 12th house is way more powerful. Now you tell me, is the 12th house scary? Only with people with planets in the 12th house will understand what I'm talking about today. This is a very heart-to-heart video for people that think 12th house is bad, and yet they know, they can relate. Some people, depending on what planets, they're able to get visions, the insight, the downloads, the sounds before things even happen. It gives them clarity. Now, if they want to help people, people can be like, oh, their ego, they're lying, this and that. No. Allow yourself to become free to merge. You know what's going to happen in the future. So 12th house is powerful. Not everybody can walk into it. It's like in today's form, we get electricity. I'm not scared to touch the light on. But if you go tell me to walk over to the powerhouse where those big transformers are and say, hey, can you switch the line, I don't know, 10,000 to 50,000 volts or turn the transformer? I'm scared. If I go in there, I'm probably going to shock myself, burn myself. I'm not going to come out alive. When a normal person going from the second house right into the 12th house, someone who's going from the 7th into 12th, or however the journey is, somebody when they walk or open this door, they don't, without being guided, they don't know how to come back into this world. And hence it gives birth to coma. A lot of medical illnesses can be related to 12th house. Schizophrenia, I think it's called, where you hear sound, see visions and stuff like this, can be linked to 12th house. ADHD, many other mystical illnesses that normal people will not understand. You put that person with me on the call and I'll tell you what's going on. That's all I'm going to say. But let's leave that for a different day. So when you walk into that source of electricity and you don't know, you're going to shock yourself. Average person walking into the 12th house without a guru, a guide, a teacher, you're going to be lost. Most likely the door is going to be locked. So it just doesn't end there. This is the infinite pool of past, present, and future. What is it 12th house gives birth to? Like I said before, it gives birth to infinite consciousness. All matter dissolves. All solid matter, money, maya, cars, your clothing, your body, everything dissolves. Not only your emotions as well. Anything and everything dissolves into the formless, to the infinite, to the divine light. People say, I've mentioned this in my other video on the crown chakra, what is the highest point in our journey to experience the divine light? When people pass away, the seniors, sometimes if you talk to them, oh, I see the divine light coming, I see the light merge, I'm merging with the light. They have these little end moments, right? And meditation is the same. When you know how to merge yourself with the light, you know you're unfolding a lot. You're changing reality at that point. But let's not get into that. Then we're talking about the whole Matrix movie, how reality really works. So 12th house is not scary. Do not be afraid of it. When 12th house is active, please know there's something higher going on with that person. 12th house is the house of downloads. Where was astrology born from? Astrology came as higher intuitions to the sages, the saints that were meditating, and it was decoded with physical form and left behind in books. Research. I have a couple of beautiful friends doing their PhDs and stuff like that, are working with matter and photons, and one of them is doing resistors. And when we're doing improvements, let's talk about computers, right? The storage disks. When computers first came out, there used to be something called like a floppy disk. This generation will not know it, but the storage was on a floppy disk and you could maybe save one file or something on it, that was it. Then we shifted into CDs, USBs, but even the USBs were 2 megabytes. Then it went up to 4 megabytes. So What is that shift going from 2 to 4? Deep research, some improvements. How do we know where to improve? You're doing research in isolation. 12th house is research. So when a scientist goes and improves that storage from 4 megabytes or 4 gigabytes and turns into 8 within 6 months for the next generations, that's divine consciousness working there. How did they know what resistance to test something at? Let's say, for example, I don't know this lab work, but how do they know? That's inner knowing. That inner knowing is your 12th house. You cannot prove this, but it just works. It fits. So I hope this video doesn't get too long today because there's too much to get into this. Once you get into the higher consciousness, there's a lot to explore. Then now I lost my train of thought. So anytime the inner knowing awakens, that comes from the 12th house. Planet, like if you have Jupiter in the 12th house, you sit in isolation, you meditate, you're able to get a lot of the answers and new breakthroughs coming down. Uranus in the 12th, Neptune there. Like every planet has a different signification. If they're sitting in the 6th, looking at the 12th, or they're sitting in the 12th, they're powerful planets for you. Now, Mars gives you strength in one side, but that inner fire, if it's not channeled properly, can lead to health issues in the 6th house. So you gotta balance these planets. My next series, starting maybe next week or 2 weeks, I'm gonna be showing you how to balance this axis. The 1st and the 7th house, the 2 and the 8th, 3 and the 9th, 4 and the 10th. Like, if you're giving too much energy to one side, what's the impact on the other house, and how do you live a balanced lifestyle spiritually? And how you balance your whole 12 houses. Now, 12th house is timeless. Let's bring sensuality in this for a moment. Sensuality in the sense that when you go kiss your partner, okay? When you close your bedroom door and you're going to be intimate with your partner, do you know how fast the time goes? The two souls are merging, and hence why it's called the house of sexuality. When the two souls merge, tell me, do you know how long your kiss lasts with your partner? Have you ever timed it? Can you even time it? You don't know the moment you two click, you dissolve, you merge with one, and you disconnect. That timeless feeling, that's 12th house. That's merging into the higher conscious. That timeless feeling can be seen in many different forms in the 12th house. Twelfth house, if you want to step into it, there's no words. You gain the knowledge, you come back, you decode, you can write words. You can write novels, you can write research, you can write, some people I know, they do a lot of hidden behind doors, they write erotica, depending on what planets are there. Like sexual books, that's fine. It's the planets, what they're doing in the 12th house. But higher research comes from the 12th house. Divine knowledge is sitting in there. Are there only past life great research scientists? No. New scientists, new sages, new breakthroughs are happening every single day. And that's the power of the 12th house. Twelfth house is infinite. 12th house is vibration. Language fails because language fails to capture the infinite. You cannot describe what's out there. This is where, going back to Mercury, losing its power, intellect fails completely in this ocean, so your intuition starts speaking. This is where the mystics are born. This is where your soul goes silent. No, this is where your words go silent. This is where your voice goes silent, so your soul can sing. Twelfth house is that zero, that shunya, that everybody wants to reach. the ultimate peak point in their meditation. 12th house is seen as foreign lands. I've mentioned this before. Some people look at it for immigration purpose, if they're going to get foreign settlement or not. That's the most basic astrology, but I've gone something very deep today. So that isolation, that withdrawal happens so you can merge with the inner universe. Everybody knows the universe is not outside, it's within. And how does that universe function? How does that universe works? Let's talk about the metaphysics of the Vedic astrology and quantum physics a little bit today. So for my engineers, for my physicists, hopefully you guys can relate and understand with this today. I'm really excited to talk about this. One day I want to do a podcast with a scientist on this and merge our Vedic knowledge and bring in the quantum physics and see how matter is going from, how form is arising from the formless. And that ties in with our next topic, which is the double split experiment, it's called. I do have notes on this, so pardon me for looking up and down, but this is something quite deep, because that 12th house is the subconscious, right? Lucid dreaming. You're split between this reality and parallel reality. Astral travel is 12th house. There's a lot of stuff hidden, magical in this. And 12th house is so infinite. This is where we see right down how atoms are observed. And let's link this to the quantum physics in modern world. Quantum physics talks about particles, which are like electrons or photons, and they exist as a wave. They're waves of probability. They're just vibration. And their vibration potentials until they're observed. Now, the double slit experiment says, when unobserved, an electron behaves like a wave spreading across infinite possibilities. When observed, it collapses into a particle, a specific location, a measurable point. So no matter is solid. It is vibrating, responding to the consciousness. Observation is awareness. And awareness is the organizing principle that calls the wave into form. What you can say is, the universe is not made of matter. It is made of mind observing itself. How does that link to the Vedic astrology? When a sage, when in the deepest meditation, you go merge with the light. You leave your body, you leave all emotions behind, you merge with the conscious, subconscious, that infinite light. You merge, you become vibration. Then you're able to help people in trouble. You're able to help heal people through your words, through your aura, through your sight, through your divine love. You become a problem solver for many people. You become a guide of the wounded souls. You realize the outcome will be given shape as to how you want to manifest it as. Depending on what planet you have in the 12th, you realize that the secret behind those planets in the 12th, and you want to use it for themselves. Planets don't behave physically here. A Venus here is not going to give you a luxury car or something like this. They're vibrating in this realm. Planets are working here in dreams, in your intuition, in the unseen forces in the 12th house. If we talk about astrology, 12th house is your collective consciousness. And all that energy, all the vibration, they collapse into a physical form, which is your identity, yourself. So depending on what planets you have in the first, those are the divine blessings you're bringing from the 12th house. So when you go into 12th, if I talk about religion, all religion says God is one, right? This energy, this light source they talk about. So in 12th house, that's how you experience it. When we're talking about 12th is consciousness, consciousness is witnessing itself through the first house. There's divine light inside you, but you're given a physical form, which is the first house. This is where vibration takes identity, and hence you're born in a physical form. This is where the waves become particles, and a spirit becomes an individual. And I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you have been enlightened with something so deep and beautiful today. It's a super long video, and I hope you get an understanding of how beautiful. I can go on this. I can talk about the ghosts, how they experience, what energy, like this is infinite. 12th house, there can be many, many, many beautiful podcasts on what really happens, how reality is manifested for each individual, and how can one individual take their consciousness, merge with the other, help them get out of their problem solutions, help them awaken, how this is all spiritual work. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have stayed this long, this interested in this video, I love you so much from the bottom of my heart, guys. For you to be interested in something like this means that there's something more beautiful hidden inside you that's making research this deep. You can always email me. I always put my email below if you want to connect. Even if you want to have a deep conversation about this, we can record podcasts if you want to talk about it. I always encourage people to share their stories of any house, any experience, so we can bring our light, shine in the world. So thank you for staying this long, watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day. Bottom of my heart, I love you. Thank you. And there's nothing beyond for me to say to you once I say I love you. The highest words where everything melts in the 12th is I love you. Once you witness the oneness, the one consciousness, that high vibration, there's nothing. There's no further conversation left after I love you. Thank you.